watching Today I Grew Up.
Now give me the microphone.
No!
It's my turn. You're watching Today I Grew Up. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey, howdy, hey, partners. It's Today I Grew Up, and I'm really excited because today I'm here with Duane Made It. You've seen him before on my channel. We're back together again for a little video collab, but we have something very special to share with you, and Duane can let you know what that is.
Today, we are going to interview the Riders in the Sky, the performers of the song
What?
Woody's Roundup from Toy Story 2, amongst many, many other hits,
This
Pixar
CD right
and,
here.
and above.
Yeah, so I'm excited because I grew up listening to this thing, and
As did I. I'm very
I
excited.
still listen to it. So, Woody's Roundup is my favorite Toy Story song outside. Yeah, I even like Woody's Roundup a little bit more than You've Got a Friend in Me, personally. So, as I'm really excited.
Yeah, two of the guys from the group have agreed to speak to us, and they are ready for us now. And let's just get right into it.
I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous.
I'm a
Duane,
little
let me tell
nervous
you.
too, but we have to. We've gone too far. We can't turn back now.
All right, sounds good. Let's get into it.
I want to thank you both so very, very, very much for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it. My name is Duane. I have a YouTube channel called Duane Made It, where I do restorations and custom art projects, and I sort of accidentally became known for doing restorations and customizations of Toy Story stuff, and so then my channel kind of accidentally became a Toy Story channel way back when. And I'll let David introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm David. I'm also known online as Today I Grew Up. I have grown a very large audience for Toy Story toys, fandom, the movies in general, music. I'm also a musician as well. So it's just really fun to kind of share my art with everyone, and everyone loves Toy Story, and that's what I provide on my channels. So this kind of fits in great. So love you guys, by the way. I'm from Redlands, and you guys were in Redlands recently at the Redlands Bowl. So I live down the street from that. So I was really excited when you guys came out. So,
Great venue. Great venue.
Yeah.
Really fun.
that's where I'm from. I'm down the street from there.
How about it?
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Come back again. I hope you come back again.
They got the dough. We got the show.
Sounds good.
Well, I feel like Woody's Roundup, I'm sure, feels like a fifth member of the group sometimes. I struggle to think of a song more iconic. I mean, David, would you concur with that?
100%. I was doing some research on Woody's Roundup just to brush up my skills on it, and I realized I didn't know that they used that song to wake up the NASA crew for the one of the last Discovery shuttle missions. And I read that, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." So your music's literally been played in space. That's pretty cool.
Called us pretty spacey sometimes.
I have the CD right here. It's actually won a Grammy, which is insane. So you guys are Grammy award winning, and you've recorded over 40 albums. I just can't, as a recording artist myself, who's only done humbly 40 or 45 tracks in my career, I can't imagine 40 albums. So that is an amazing accomplishment. And I guess my first question was what was the recording process like? And was this recorded in Nashville? That's what I read, in Tennessee. What was that like?
Which, the CD or the?
This specifically, like Woody's Roundup or any of the songs from this CD?
Yeah, that was recorded in East Nashville here. A friend of ours named Brent Truitt has a studio out in his backyard, basically, and done a bunch of albums there, and that's where we did that album. But Woody's Roundup cut, the one from the movie, was recorded in L.A.
Oh, okay, good to know. Interesting.
And that was before, and after that went so well, then John Lasseter called and said, "We should would you be interested in doing an album of songs about the characters?" And so we said, "Yeah, we'd like to write the song." So they said, "Okay, give it a shot." So we wrote most of those songs, and then recorded that in East Nashville as well, and that became the first Grammy. Yeah.
So Woody's Roundup was written by Randy Newman, and then all the other tracks were written by you guys?
Exactly.
Not all of them, but almost all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. We got, when they called and said, "Would you do this, sing a song?" And so we said, "Yes, of course we'll do it." And they sent a demo. Randy sent a 30-second piano demo. Woody's Roundup right here, Woody's Roundup. And it sounded sort of like something that he was like walking out the door and thinking, "Oh God, wait a minute, I got to do one more song." And he just he sat down and banged this thing out, which was sort of how it felt. It was just one verse and chorus. And so when we talked to him on the phone, we called him up, had a group call, and we said, "What do you want us to do with this song?" And he said, "I've heard your records. You guys know what you're doing. just arrange it like you'd arrange it. So I'm thinking Randy Newman has heard our records. Oh my God. So we did. We arranged it, and he wrote a second verse. I volunteered to write a second verse, but he said he had that covered. So
That's awesome. How did you guys figure out the voice acting with the music? Because I noticed there was times where you guys were saying like, the old prospector, he's a smart one. You do those little like character
that was
voices.
in the demo.
Oh, that was
in the
all demo. Okay,
That was
interesting.
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Good to know. It was interesting.
That's awesome how collaborative it was. I'm so glad that you guys were given that much freedom with it. I know that it's a lot easier to create that way. Were you guys familiar with the first Toy Story movie before you got asked to be involved with the second one?
Absolutely, I was.
Mm-hmm,
I was a huge Pixar fan. I also love Bug's Life.
Nice.
I think that was just
Absolutely.
a great movie. So yeah, I was. I knew what we were getting into, and was just thrilled.
Since doing the work that you did for the movie, how has it impacted your life? What's the reaction from people, from your children, or I don't know if you have grandchildren of your own or anything like that, but what is sort of the effect that a Woody's Roundup type deal has on one's life?
Ranger Doug?
Well, it certainly led to a bump in bookings for the next 3-4 years. And they used one of the tunes, my song, Jessie the Yodeling Cowgirl. They used that in Disney on Ice.
I love that track.
Yeah,
It's great. Great song. Nice. I love that one.
Took my little girl, who's almost 30 now, took her to her gymnastics class, and one of the other little kids came over and said, "Are you famous?"
Yeah.
So word got out among the youngsters.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Now we get them at the shows, and they're bringing their kids and saying, "Oh, you guys are just the music of our youth," and it's really cool.
It's funny. I've written down here, but I was going to say almost the exact same thing, and I'm very glad that that's not something that you hear rarely. That's wonderful to hear. David, I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, the nenext question I had was, when you're creating the music for this, and it's a major motion picture, well, and I'm thinking, were they able to share a lot of the animation to like inspire the music, or what were they able to share during that process?
Nope.
As far as writing the songs, there was not. I don't remember a lot of input for that.
I don't either.
I mean, we saw the movie, and so we knew what the characters were, and it felt like free reign, sort of.
Oh wow!
But the only suggestion I got was that Jessie was from Oklahoma.
Oh, interesting.
Period. Okay. Everything else was up to me.
Yeah. See, that must have been tough, because even in the movies, even after Toy Story 2, the question I get from fans all the time is, they never pull Jessie's pull string in the movie. We never hear what voice phrases she actually has. And so that's always kind of like, how do you even write a song about someone you don't even know what is their lines? What does she say? It's got to be a little limiting. That's interesting.
Well, we know she yodeled, so that's what my song is about.
That's true. The yodeling cowgirl. I loved that. That was great, by the way. That was perfectly executed. So did you get a lot of notes from Disney back saying we need to make some changes, or was that all handled in the production or anybody?
I don't remember.
I got notes.
You got notes?
I absolutely got notes. Yeah, they were there were some of my lyrics that they wanted changed.
Okay.
So my favorite toy song and the Bullseye song, and but the only one that the one song they didn't want to use was To Infinity and Beyond.
Oh.
Which was they said, no, we're not going to do that one. So Joey, who produced it, who was our accordion player, we loved the song, and I was very proud of the song. So I was like, this is a mistake not to put this on the record. So Joey felt the same way. He sent a copy to John. He sent a thank you note to John Lasseter that Christmas. Said, "Thank you, John. It's been a great year, and here's a special gift for you of this song that we like a lot, but they don't want to put it on the record. But Merry Christmas." So we get a call a couple of days later from Lasseter and said, "Yes, that has to be on the record." That's great. So yeah, Lasseter went to the head of the Disney Records and said, "No, that song's going to be on the record." So they put it as a bonus track, and also then Pixar used that song as the wake up song at Pixar University every morning at 8 o'clock. That's what went through the PA. was that To Infinity and Beyond. So
That's amazing. So you've woken up many
okay.
people with your music.
Remind me to change my alarm.
Yeah.
Mine too. Mine too.
So did you guys get to meet any of the other people involved during the process? I mean, the premiere, anything like that? Did you ever get to meet Tom Hanks or any of those folks?
Oh, I have a great Tom Hanks story.
Oh, we're
It
ready.
was
We'd love to hear it.
one of the most remarkable events of my life when he stepped out of the limo, turned, saw me, looked deep into my eyes, and said, "Whoa, the band, great job."
Amazing.
That was my moment.
That's fantastic. That's
I
beautiful.
can't even imagine. That's an amazing compliment to get
Well, I
from
thought
yeah.
was cool was meeting Minnie Driver at the I think she's hot.
Oh, absolutely.
My big thrill was during the session in LA when Randy Newman came in to kind of oversee the production. All the Disney people were there, uptight, and they had their laptops and stuff. And the Pixar people were there, John, and they're all wearing Hawaiian shirts and cutting up and stuff. We absolutely got along great with those guys. And then Randy comes in, and I wear woolly chaps on stage and my big hat. So Randy puts on my chaps and my hat and starts cavorting around the studio and stuff with my that was pretty hilarious.
That's
And he
awesome.
kind of helped our arrangement. He wanted to make sure the voices and the were all and then he said, "You guys know what you're doing. I got another appointment," and he left. And Joey kind of took over the production. We tracked it in the morning and had lunch, just the four of us, and had lunch, and then came back and sang it in the afternoon, and bang, it was done. By 3 o'clock, it
Wow.
was all done, just the way it is in the movie.
So how long was the actual, to get this like whole compilation done? How long did it take from start to finish? About?
It was a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's still pretty quick considering. I mean, there's a lot of stuff involved, especially all the notes you got back and things you had to change, I'm sure. Was it really hard to do those changes or was it really minor?
Not particularly hard, I'd say. There were a couple that I disagreed with, but
Mm.
I didn't have any in the ultimate say. So no, but I mean, we've made a lot of records, so we have sort of in place. We know where to stand. We know we have an idea what the arrangement's going to be. So we're not like four people who just met.
Right.
We've made like 35 albums this time, so we have a way of doing things, and that served us well when we had a sort of a deadline to get this project done.
Switching gears just a hair, Scream Factory favorites. How far removed was that process from this process, and what was it like?
Well, I think it was a couple of years. Well, that was the next big Pixar movie,
Mm-hmm.
I think. So was it like 1 year after the Grammys?
Yeah, a couple of years separated it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the same thing. And again, it was we said we want to write these songs. So I think we wrote all the ones on that one, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the same deal. We just split them up. Well, I want to do. Ranger Doug said I want to do blah blah blah. I said I want to do this, and we'll split up the characters and then see what we get, and then play them for each other and see is this going to fly, is this not going to fly, or whatever, like that. So
Which
I don't
one
know
you-
if this is the most fun album or the most rewarding that we've ever done, but it was certainly the most interesting, especially for us as writers, because we were way outside our box. But it was fun for me. I could write a Caribbean thing like Roz's song, which I don't have any other of the 250 songs I've written, like that. And one of my favorites that I've ever written, I Only Have I for You. I just consider that one of the most clever things I ever came up with.
Your kisses taste like glue.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was yesterday. That was a really such a joyous album. I didn't know that you wrote that song. That was one of my favorites. That was
It's
awesome.
hugely fun as writers. I hope Slim agrees.
oh, absolutely, stands for I was
Yeah.
the Monster ABCs was so much fun, and the Doo Wah Diddy Diddy knockoff too was really
Mm.
really fun.
Absolutely. So wait, hold on. Doug, does that mean you were Roz, the voice of Roz?
That's right.
It's
Okay, that
so
was
good. You
my
guys are
next
voice
question.
actors too. That's why I'm, wow, this
Oh
is
yeah.
really cool.
Great joys of doing our public radio show way back in the 90s was we could be, 6 different characters in the course of a half an hour because there were no other actors but us and whoever lady was Miss Marm at the time. There was a lot of voice acting, in other words, involved in that.
My question is to that, follow up on that. Were you ever invited to do a character voice for Disney in some capacity outside just the songs?
I think they lost my number.
Okay.
Apparently so. I've been sitting by the mailbox and nothing's happened.
Nothing happened. We had a show on CBS, a kids show, back in 1990 or 91.
91. Yeah.
And we had that radio show for years, and we had shows on the Nashville network. So we've done acting, we've done that and all those different voices. And I've always liked doing voices. My dad was a great mimic. He was a doctor and he used to imitate his patients. Not to their face, I hope.
Hey, that doesn't break HIPAA. It's fine.
Yeah.
Toy Story 5 is coming up, man, and I think that there is a Riders in the Sky shaped hole in that movie that could really
From
use.
your lips to Disney's ears.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want it for you guys because I think you've earned it for real.
It was the whole our relationship with Pixar was so strong for I don't know if, we did For the Birds too, the music for the Birds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I read that. Yeah.
And
I
that was
heard- I didn't hear that.
that. So look at it again. That's a smoking little track, and it was that won the Academy Award that year for
Wow.
subject too. So,
Congratulations. That's amazing.
thanks. So yeah, I think it was such a great relationship, and then the whole Disney took over Pixar, and everything changed, and a lot of people that we worked with were gone. And then John Lasseter was gone, and he was
Right.
sort of our main guy there. So
Right.
when we had our 25th anniversary as a band, we had a get together in Las Vegas and a kind of a roast dinner, and John came down and spoke at it. And
Oh, wow.
so we had a great personal relationship with him, and then that all went away.
You currently don't have you talk to John at all or reach out to him? I know he's not with Disney anymore, but
We don't.
okay.
I
Just
don't.
curious.
Joey probably does. Joey was the one who talked to him most. I still got all the stuff that he signed for us, all this autograph stuff, and drawing pictures of Woody and Buzz on autograph and stuff. He was great. He was just really sweet. We played their Christmas party, the Pixar Christmas party, and there's Steve Jobs standing over in the corner at the
Sounds about right.
kind of quietly, just kind of looking at everything. And Lasseter's office had hundreds of toys in it. Like, I mean, every kind of toy that you can imagine, just shelf after shelf after shelf. He was just a big kid, somewhere inside.
So I don't know if you guys are aware. I'm sure you're aware of this, but it's this year marks 25 years anniversary of Toy Story 2 being released, and with that, Hallmark has released a commemorative Woody's Roundup little radio that you can purchase now and plays the song. I also have the old ornaments with like the little Woody mini guitar and everything. My question is, do they even tell you guys when they make these products, or is it because it's Disney owned they just do it and your music still is going through toys and ornaments? Just curious if you're ever here when that pops up, or you guys are surprised like we are as fans.
I'm surprised.
I'm
Okay.
surprised.
Yeah.
And I hope there are songwriting royalties associated with it too.
I was going to ask that. Do you guys get money from Hallmark now? Because they just released that ornament this year. So last month.
We'll
Is
look
it us?
into it.
If it's us performing it, we should get something.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah,
Yeah,
Hallmark just dropped that.
We wrote songs for the theme parks too. When you wait in line at Midway Mania, you can hear our songs being sung by Don Rickles, by
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head, and by I think Jesse's probably played out there too.
It sure is. Jesse's Carousel. Critter
Yeah.
Carousel.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
Play my song all day.
They translated our songs into Mandarin, and it's in Disney Shanghai too.
Wow.
So
So do they take your music tracks and then get a singer, or how do they do the different
yeah, they did that.
They do that?
I
Okay.
said, how do I write this so that it translates into Chinese? And they said, don't worry about it.
Oh, wow.
Just do it how you do it, and we'll figure it out. So
Amazing.
they
That's
figured
really
it
cool. That's awesome. So how many languages at this point do you know besides Mandarin has it been translated, do you think? Maybe there is
Um,
Spanish and I don't know.
At least half a dozen.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I love the Spanish version of the Under the Bed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Go home.
It's amazing.
did it ever cross your mind, or would you ever want Woody's Roundup to become an actual TV show? I know they gave Buzz his own series and his own movie. I think Woody deserves the same, and likewise your song. Um,
I
Yes,
like the way you
on
think.
that.
stick with me, guys. We're gonna go places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Many of the kids who grew up with you, as Ranger Doug said, now have kids of their own. Um, you are the soundtrack of their childhood. How does it make you feel? And is there anything that you'd like those grown-up kids like David and myself to know? I mean, now's your chance.
I
It's very
love that you.
touching to me. It's very emotionally touching. I mean, to think, I haven't saved any lives as a medic or anything, but to have brought that much joy to so many people. And I'm just a guitar player in Nashville. It just brings a lot of joy to know that people's lives have been touched and they feel connected to the music that we've created as a group.
Just know that your music is timeless. It is forever, and it's touching new generations with every movie. And that's why I'm glad Toy Story is continuing the legacy because you guys' music is still popular. It's still relevant, and even with the 25th anniversary, everyone's talking about Toy Story 2 right now. So it's really great to see that in the community for Toy Story, especially.
Yeah, I think I'm most I like the generational aspect. We just came back from Texas. We did 3 shows last weekend in Texas, and there were grandparents there bringing their grand. I saw you in 1981, and now with this little
Wow.
boy here who uh, now has a whole family of his own, and we all met here and we all came together to the show. And there's just this whole. And you were whenever we went on car trips to your cassettes, that was the soundtrack there, and that's just wonderful to me. I mean, how could be that's a very cool legacy to me. And
We hear that a lot too.
and that it will go on. I mean, I have a 1-year-old granddaughter now who is like, when I'm dead and gone, she'll listen to that and say, "Listen, how your ear is drawn to the bass."
Right.
That's my Gramps. So
Yeah, and it's amazing how far reach this music goes. I went to Tokyo Disneyland earlier this year, and because my band tours in Japan, and when I was out there, I went to a machine, and I turned the wheel, and it was like a little carnival scene with Woody, Jesse, and Bullseye, and all the critters. And I turned the wheel, it started playing Woody's Roundup, Riders in the Sky version. You can hear it. It was clear as day in English. They didn't translate it at all, so your music is in really far corners all over the world, and that's really cool as a fan for me to bump into that.
What kind of band do you have?
It's pop punk music, so it's like the modern Blink 182, MXPX, Green Day kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I do. Yeah, it's very
great,
modern pop punk. That's what I do. It's called Heart Like War. So
nice.
maybe one day there could be a collab with Riders in the Sky. You
Yeah,
never know.
great.
We can make it work. I need strings sometimes.
Whenever I'm writing music for like a musical or something along those lines, I have always found that country and western is the easiest, not the easiest, excuse me. That's the genre that comes most naturally to me. And even sometimes when I'm writing a song and it's not country western, I will think of it as if it is, and all of a sudden it just starts coming out again. I don't know what it is, but it speaks to me.
What were your musical influences growing up that maybe influenced your sound?
I'll go first. I had two significant influences. One of my mother's family was Finnish immigrants who lived in northern Michigan. And I had two uncles who they didn't ever get to hear the Grand Ole Opry. They heard the National Barn Dance out of Chicago. So two of my uncles played guitar. And I heard that as a kid. I mean, they would just sit around at the camp, they call it. It's like a lake house, very primitive lake house, and sing those old songs, Red River Valley and just that kind of stuff. And then my dad was stationed in the Navy in Long Beach. So we lived in California for a couple of years in the 50s, and the 50s was the golden age of Western music on TV. You had Town Hall Party and Western Varieties and the Spade Cooley Show. And so I was inundated with Western music and kind of forgot about it. And then in the middle 70s, I mean, I knew about it, you know, it's ubiquitous. And if you like any kind of folk music, you're going to know what Tumbling Tumbleweeds is, even if you don't know the lyrics. There were songs about the outdoors, and they were beautifully crafted too. There were interesting melodies, beautiful harmony, and poetic lyrics. It was really a marvel to me. And I said, I've got to keep this music alive. I've got to have a band like this. So I went home and got a hold of Too Slim, who was also part of the Nashville folk and bluegrass and Dixieland community. And we started this whole thing up and did our first show in 1977, November of 77. That's my
amazing.
story. Sticking to it.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's really cool to hear, just the origin and how you guys arrived at this point.
Yeah, I moved to Nashville to be a songwriter in '72, and happened to move in next door to Ranger Doug, which is how I met him. But we had both gone to the same university, and we lived on the same street and ate in the same pizza joint, and we never knew each other.
And played
Wow.
music.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I moved to Nashville, and then that became a friendship, and then this collaboration that's lasted, my God, almost 50 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, I played a lot in
Incredible.
high school. I had a rock and roll band, and I had played at a folk trio, and when I got out, but then my parents said, "Well, you have to have a real job. You can't play music. You got to be a professional." So I went along with that until I got out of college, and then what I really want to do is play music. So I started playing in Ann Arbor, and played in a country band, and then moved to Nashville to write songs, and played with a country star named Dickie Lee, and played just all kind of pickup dates, and tried to learn the string bass, and then Ranger Doug had this notion of singing Western songs, and chemistry was so fun on stage, which is lasted to this day.
Mhm.
And even last night we played the Grand Ole Opry, and we did Woody's Roundup and
Oh,
brought
wow.
down the house. You know, it was like
Yeah.
it still works.
Amazing.
It works every time, every single time.
I know it gives me chills every time I hear you guys perform that. You've got a friend of me, or Woody's
Yeah.
Roundup. It always holds a special place in my heart, and millions of fans all over the world. And my one more follow-up question to that was, out of all the concerts and all the experiences you've had, either on the road or in the studio, what's one of your favorite music memories where you think, gosh, this is like the best moment for me being in Riders in the Sky?
Well, for me, we played the Hollywood Bowl with the Hollywood Bowl Orchestra, and the rehearsal was in the Warner Brothers Sound Studio.
Wow.
So we have all these symphonic charts, and we've played with a bunch of symphonies around the country. And we're there, and the orchestra assembles, and they're really, really nice people. And we're up there, and there's the conductor hits the downbeat, and we blasted off into Ride Cowboy Ride, and the hair on my neck just, it was like, this is the sound. This
Yeah.
accordion player, Joey, and I looked at each other with our eyes like it's like, oh my God, this is it. And that rehearsal to me was and then to go out and do it at the Hollywood Bowl, it was 17,000 people there, whatever it was. It was just, for me, that music was it. I still hear it. I still hear how great it was.
I would say for me, the Hollywood Bowl appearance, playing for 17,000 people in that incredibly historic and beautiful amphitheater, was right up top. And the other one I would say is doing Hee Haw with Roy Rogers.
Wow.
Of course.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to be in the dressing room with him. And what few shows he did back in the 80s and 70s, it'd be a pickup country band and pretty tedious sounding. So he gets back there and he says, "Well, boys, do you know Texas Plains?" "Well, of course we know Texas Plains." He lights up. "Well, do you know Skyball Paint?" "Well, of course we know Skyball Paint." He just lost 10 years in age and stood up 2 inches taller. He said, "This is like when Tim and Bob and I started the Sons of the Pioneers." It was great.
Thanks for sharing that. I loved hearing that. As an artist myself who's still in it, I'm always looking at like, what are the pinnacles, and if I were you guys, yeah, I would choose probably the same moments. That's to play at a historical place in front of 17,000 people, and then Tom Hanks complimenting you. You can't really go higher than that, I think.
Yeah, quite a compliment.
I have one more.
Great job.
I have one more. We were playing a beer joint every week in Nashville, and Ken Irwin came to town from Rounder Records and came to town to check us out. And it happened to be a snowstorm that night, so the gig was canceled. And in Nashville, when it snows, everything stops. So, but he was in town, and so he said, "Come over to this." We had a friend, Anne Romaine, so we went over to her house, and Ken was staying there, and we did our show for Ken and Ann. They're just sitting on a couch. The three of us are there, and we do a set. And at the end of it was 45 minutes or an hour. Ken said, "That's your first record. Just do that." And and everything changed. That was a huge stepping stone for us.
Regarding recording in Nashville and having, the execs come in, was it nerve-wracking to have those people just watching you guys through the process or handing you notes? Were you guys nervous during that process, or because, like you said, we're seasoned, or is it just like another gig for you guys? Or how did you guys feel about doing that movie?
Well, the only one where there were outside people was Woody's Roundup.
Okay.
And it was, I mean, we knew this. We arranged it for like 3 weeks ahead of time, and when we took it on the road for all our road dates, and we did it every show to make sure we knew it, and it worked out all the kinks, and so we were just ready. I mean, we knew, and the engineer got a good sound. It was, that's what we do.
It wasn't
band. We play live anyway, so it was not particularly nerve-wracking.
It was for me, just because it wasn't a comfortable situation. I mean, we knew what we were doing, but you're surrounded by accountants and executives and lawyers, and I mean, there's 30 people in there looking at you.
See, that's what I was thinking about.
if you make a mistake in Brent's studio, we say, "Well, let's try it again, dude."
Let's do it again.
But with this horde of bean counters staring at you, I was a little put off.
Taken aback, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Taken aback is a better way to put it. Yes.
All right, let me try this again. If it doesn't work, I'll just forget it.
Okay.
Did it work that time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, then here we go. This is back when I worked. I'm lucky enough to be, have a much better job now. But I was making pennies at a gas station. I was working at a gas station, and I didn't, all I had was time. Nobody, I was working nights. Nobody would come into this place, and so I would make videos like this, and this is what I did.
Woody's Roundup, right here every day. Woody's Roundup, 'cause it's time to play. That guy go running wherever he's in town. He's the rootin'est, shootin'est cowboy around.
Woody's Roundup.
You need to finish it.
That's true.
What does the word hootinist mean? I've always wondered.
Hootinist?
I thought it was hootinist.
It's hootinist, yeah.
It's hootinist, it's not hootinist?
Yes, hootinist.
I think so. Ootinist just sounds like the essence of being oot.
Yeah.
Hootinist is like what? Like calling attention? Like hoot?
I think it's
hollered?
the most worthy of being hollered at.
Yeah.
Hootinist.
I think.
Yeah.
Rootinist, hootinist, hootinist.
Yeah.
It's gun shootinist.
Yeah. We'll put a glossary.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Again, he's going out the door and he's saying rootinist, tootinist, shootinist, hootinist. Okay, bye.
I'm surprised Disney let you do the shooting part, because even the toys are like no guns.
I know.
You don't see guns in the movie, but then the soundtrack has like some nods at shooting. So interesting.
Yeah, we had to get rid of there was one song we had which we had to remove the guns from. I forget which one it was.
Okay, so there was a gun song somewhere.
Well, yeah, that did come up as a note.
They opened the Disneyland in Japan. They made me change the lyrics to Jessie the Yodeling Cowgirl. You couldn't say she's dainty as a fairy anymore.
A note, they said you can't do it, and that was it.
Yeah,
no
had to change it, singing light and airy or something like that. I forget what they changed it to.
Canary.
I get paid the same. I don't care.
That's great.
Please give Joey and Woody Paul our regards and thank them as well. And thank you both so much again from the bottom of our hearts. It means the world.
Yeah.
All right.
It's such an honor, and
Thanks,
have
guys.
a wonderful rest of your day.
Guys. I hope I
Thank you
meet
so
you in
much.
person someday.
Yeah.
I'm back to
promise you
Redlands.
will. I promise
I'll see you in
will.
Redlands. I'll see you in
Okay,
Redlands.
it's a deal.
All right,
All right.
take care.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Well, that was our interview with the Riders in the Sky. We're so grateful for their time. It was exactly what I hoped for and more. David, what do you think?
I think it was incredible to be so close. Growing up as a fan, we're kids, we grow up into adults, we still love these movies. I always feel very connected to it, but to cross that barrier from I'm actually talking to the people who actually made the music, who actually talked to John Lasseter and got complimented by Tom Hanks. That to me is another layer of oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening right now. They're big celebrities for me. And I think that was just an amazing experience for me to go beyond not just a casual fan. We're serious fans now.
It's true. And not to get too preachy on you, but I've always thought and said and felt that human connection really is all we have in this world. I feel like the real, what truly gives life its life is to connect with other people and to find a way to reach out to and even have the briefest of interactions with people who have had an impact on you, whether or not you even know that person personally. This is what life is all about, man. So I'm really fortunate that I got to do it. I'm very fortunate that I got to do it with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just wanted to share one more thing, that it was just incredibly and amazing to hear their long career and the legacy they've created. And not only for our generation, future generations are being impacted by this now. And it's just so cool to hear their stories about how, they played in front of 17,000 people at the Hollywood Bowl, the historic venue. And they got to be in a room with John Lasseter and, come face to face with Tom Hanks, and things like that is just, wow. Imagine that being your legacy. And I'm just thinking to myself as a musician, sometimes the best is yet to come. We don't know what the future holds. And because they've been doing it so long, it led to amazing results. So it kind of goes back to what I always preach to people, that anything is possible. Nothing is impossible. One day you can wake up one morning and be like, look, I'm recording a record with Disney. It can happen, and they're just simple guys from, like you said, Nashville, Tennessee, jamming together.
And by the time Toy Story 7 comes around, you and I will be doing just that.
You never know. What if we're character voices in Toy Story 7?
We've earned it. We've earned it. Walt, are you listening?
Yeah, if Pixar's watching, we got some voice acting skills between me, Duane, and I. We can do it. Or some music, whatever you guys need, we can do it.
We're here to solve problems, not cause them.
Exactly. No, but thank you again, Duane, for coordinating this. It was a dream come true for me to speak with them. And I can't wait to talk to them in the future. Maybe once they do appear again, we can have them back on, or whenever we can. I'd love to talk to them again. They're really fun to talk to.
What happens is you and I go to a Riders in the Sky show together.
Yeah.
With the we don't tell them or anything. We just ambush them.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a great idea. We'll do that. Next time they come around, we'll coordinate that. Let's
okay. All right.
I'm down. I'll bring Giant Woody with me too.
Please do. Let's make it weird.
That'd be awesome. We'll make it weird. They like weird, it sounds like. Especially that studio story, those execs walking around in their costumes. So.
Heck yeah.
We'll make it weird for sure. I'll wear some chaps too.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, no, one for me, one for you. All right.
Cowboy hat.
Well, thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you next time, partners.
You want the real Buzz Lightyear? You're an action figure.
You are a sad, strange little man. You are a sad, strange little man.
You are a child's plaything. Hey, Ham, look, I'm Picasso.
I don't get it.